Hello, everyone. How you doing? And you're very welcome to this week's Castlerea Cavaliers Basketball podcast with myself, Aidan Raftery, and of course, as always, the coach and player from the club. We have Thomas Callaghan. How are you, Thomas? How are you doing? Are you well?
I'm great, Aidan. Thanks for having me back. Looking forward to having a chat with you and catching you up on all the basketball news.
No problem. That's no problem at all. And of course, we know you're busy with other matters as well. But what we'll do is we'll cover, I suppose, the underage teams, and of course the colleges teams first of all.
Yeah, now the school teams, there's kind of been a break now since our senior teams, the season's kind of wrapped up. First and second years then will be starting after Christmas. So we're just kind of starting preparing for that. It's a lot of the kids' first time playing basketball. So we're just getting back to that. It's actually nice to go back to training that fundamental stuff, the basic skills, and then trying to put it all together for a team thing after Christmas. The under 18 club team had a great win. They finally played their first game after a lot of difficulty trying to get a fixture. They went down to Carrick and they were missing Joseph Botton, who was one of their stronger players, but they managed to come out with a win 38-10. I wasn't there now, but Joe Henry, the coach, told me it was a fantastic win. He said Jamie Dowd really stepped up, had a great game. I think he had 14 or 16 points out of the 38. And just all in the absence of maybe one of the main players, all the other lads stepped up and really brought it to them. So, and they kind of went down, kind of half expecting the Carrick to be nearly too strong with the personnel missing, but the boys again, this group of lads always kind of rise and when they're facing it with adversity, and they managed to pull out a very good win. So great start to the season for them, and hopefully now they can get some more fixtures under the belt and maybe drive it on and compete for that league this year.
I suppose, yeah. Look, it's coming up to Christmas, like you said, and I suppose you'll be nearly glad of the rest as well. I suppose you've been busy with the GA club, and things are dying down. I suppose with the basketball until after Christmas now as well. But I suppose it's kind of good in the sense that it gives the players kind of a rest as well. But maybe you can still, to a certain degree, still be training away and kind of, as I suppose, practicing and maybe tweaking a few things that maybe need to be tweaked for 2024.
Yeah, I suppose December is the time for nearly every sports team to just kind of plan it carefully and just get in your sessions when you can, and keep yourself ticking over amongst the festivities. Um, so the next time I'll see the girls team now tomorrow, and we'll try and figure out when we're going to meet and what numbers. We have a few games now between now and Christmas, and just getting everybody sorted for those and organized for those, because it's a busy period. Same with the men's team. We have a game. We have a game in the middle of Christmas, the 28th. We managed to agree to a fixture there, and we have a game next week. So it's just making sure lads are available and just planning around, trying to plan things around the games more importantly. So we're available for those, and again, just keep it ticking over, and availability is the big thing, like I said. So hopefully we'll have all our numbers, and hopefully the under 18s as well manage to get numbers up or whatever they play between now and Christmas. Because it is a busy period and it's a lot to ask of people and players to, sacrifice maybe a social occasion or whatever. But that's why you do it, and that's the sacrifice, and it'll reap the rewards, when you do give those sacrifices. So yeah, it'll be a busy December, but you look at everybody kind of knows what they signed up for, and hopefully we'll get a few wins out of it with all three teams.
That's it, and I suppose just focusing on the ladies' team for a second now as well. I suppose things didn't go kind of to plan maybe at the start, but now they're really starting to get into it now. They had a win there, a lot of positives. Even in the games though that you didn't win, there was still a lot of positives to come out of it. And also the new players as well are kind of blending in nicely as well. They're all positives as well. But I suppose just kind of in general, where are the ladies teams? Because this is a very determined group of girls.
Yeah, look, we have two games now between now and Christmas. We're playing Sligo away and then Longford at home. And from our perspective, they're two winnable games. I think Sligo and Longford will be, if we're really, um, operating at our best or close to it, they're two teams that, uh, are very beatable. That being said, if we're even a little bit off, you know, again, Longford have handled us losses in the past, as with Sligo. So, I'm looking forward to these two games because I think we'll be very well matched. Maybe, going into it form wise, the other two teams might have the maybe advantage on us, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the girls do now that they're, have games that are winnable, but also will be a massive challenge, and they'll have to really dig deep to get through them and hopefully get wins. Training's been going well. There's been a few commitments, with a few girls, but I'm very happy. I've seen a lot of, the core group. I've seen a lot of, we have these bonus sessions we do. So we try and get together every Friday evening, but then during the week, I might have a bonus session for an hour before men's training or an hour after school one of the days. And, we get good numbers at them too. If you get 4 or 5 of them down, just shooting hoops and keeping the rhythm, so I'm very happy. And there's a couple players now that are at all of them. So it's great to see that commitment and that desire. And it's really clear, that there's players there who want it and who want to drive it on and who want to get better individually and add to that, that cause as a team. So hopefully, we see the benefit of all that practice in these two games coming up, and we'll go into Christmas then with a real feel good factor, and hopefully we'll have a winning record by the time it comes around.
And I suppose those training sessions, like you were saying, they're good for keeping the players ticking over. But what do you feel you learn from them as a coach, and that the players learn from them as well? I know it is great. They are very useful to just kind of keep their hand in there, and to keep practicing and that, and just keep things ticking over. But are the little things that you have on both sides that you both that the players and yourself learn from these?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you watch, especially when you see players there very regularly, you see their skill set growing all the time. And you see just things maybe like a reverse layup or a jump shot, or you see their shooting ranges getting extended, just little things like that. Um, and then from that, then you're like, okay, maybe we can use this player in a different role, or maybe we, just as a coach, tell her, you have the license to like execute that in a game because I've seen you do it in practice, and I've seen you like really develop it in practice. So feel free to try it in the game, and that breeds confidence and also just makes the team better when you have more of an arsenal. If one girl has 3 moves that she's able to do, and another girl has 3 or 4, or adds a fifth, adds an outside shot to her game, just things like that. It makes the team better. And the more regular you see them, the more opportunities they have to show me, okay, we might play this person in this position, or have her look for opportunities to drive left or finish on the reverse, or work a post move. So yeah, it's a lot of learning as well. Like the more you see them, the more you learn. And definitely there's a few players there who have shown me that, their skill set is kind of demanding me to think about the minutes situation. And, their usefulness, I suppose, in my eyes, keeps growing and growing. So, for them, the reward is getting on the court and getting the chance to show that improvement in game, which they will get. So I'm looking forward to giving them that chance as well.
And of course, like it is a long season, so I suppose how you use the minutes is kind of essential. Not to have them playing too much, but just kind of striking a good balance. But I suppose in that, in another way, as regards of how you play, it's about striking the balance between letting the players express themselves, but also maybe play. And I know maybe to a certain extent you were saying that you don't play to a specific plan at the same time, but there is that kind of fine line, getting that balance right between like letting the girls express themselves and show what they can do, but also kind of have it playing in a certain way. And I suppose that depends on the quality of the opposition you're playing as well as to how you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's obviously we have our one or two or three maybe main scorers. Sarah Tyrrell is always good for 15, 20 points. Sandra Kane has led us in scoring the last season. Maria McCarthy had a good scoring game the last day. But then like the more scoring threats you have, the harder it is for the defense. And we have outside of those girls, we need players that are willing to shoot. One game you might, I'd say like Kerry Harkin, for example, might go 2 games without any points. And then another game, just because she's still willing to shoot and willing to take the chance to score, she might finish with 15 or 20 herself. So and I think we do have players with confidence to take on their scoring opportunities. We've seen Megan Keaveney come in with 6, 8 points in games. Katie Murphy can score from those baseline jump shots. Kelly Coleman as well. And just being confident when, because you will get open because the defense will be all focused on our, main threats, so to speak, like Sandra and Sarah. But, then the opportunities as the game goes on are going to fall to those maybe lesser threats in the defense eyes. And, you need girls with confidence and girls with um, the bottle to take it on, take it to the basket, take the shot without hesitation. And I think we have a lot of players who do have that confidence. Even if they might only get 2 points or 4 points, it gives the defense an extra body to think about. And I think that's very important for then to get our main scorers, then their space back to work. So it's all about that balance. And, like you said, every player is willing to express themselves. And I feel like it's important for me to give them that confidence and give them that license to shoot, license to take a chance. And it's very rewarding then when, for example, we had Rachel Mulligan got to the free throw line against Drumlish. We've been working a good bit on her shooting form, which wasn't great for the last few years. But she missed the first one. Then I was like, relax. And then her form was lovely for the second one, and she swished it. Big smile on her face then. So yeah, it's really rewarding for me as a coach and for the players themselves when, I'm like, shoot, if you're open, let it fly, shoot. And then they find themselves with a few scores on the board. So it's those moments and it's those, scores that are really satisfying and, it makes the team better as well.
Yeah, because the reason I kind of brought up that point was like you look at other sports maybe, and I know you can't apply other sports to basketball, but just kind of in sports in general. So sometimes there's a strict game plan, and the coach said no, you have to play this way. And such a player has to play this way, another player has to play that way, and they can't go outside of that. And you could have you could have a player with loads of potential, but because they're nearly kind of straitjacketed into that way of playing, they kind of lose that potential. The coach can lose that potential that the player can bring. So I know you don't do it, but you see that kind of thing happening in other sports, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, the system is, obviously we have our plays or choreographed, let's say X's and O's that we like to run. But it's like, the big thing we say a lot, especially with the men's team as well, is like, don't be robots. Don't feel pressure to, go and set that screen or pass that, make that pass. If you have the driving lane, you take it. Or if you have the open shot, you take it. It's not like you might draw up a play with 5 or 6 passes, but like if the man on at the end of the first pass is open, shoot it. So that's important because it makes you less predictable, it makes it more enjoyable, and I think that sort of freedom to anybody can shoot, anybody can score, as long as it's a good decision and you're not trying to go 1 versus 5. You know, um, it makes it more enjoyable for the whole team. And I think the best teams kind of strike that balance very well.
That's it, and that brings us on to the men's finally. And I suppose it was great for you as a player slash coach to and the other players to the other lads to kind of flex your muscles and finally get some game time this season. And yeah, so how's that going for you?
Yeah, so unfortunately now we're down to 0 wins and 2 losses. Another close one at home. We played Sligo since I talked to you last, and they were they came down, and we always know it's going to be tough with Sligo All-Stars. They always have strong players. Martin Mulligan there at point guard was caused us trouble all night. Adrian Frayne as well inside. And we kind of know their game, but I think again in this one it was just missing bodies in key positions. Still a few of the lads were saving themselves for the football. I limited my minutes. It was the Tuesday before our Clonic final, so I only played 15 or 20 minutes. Um, and like it's difficult sometimes. I played 5 minutes ish of each quarter. First period, I was like grand. I hit a few shots and kind of lifted it a bit. Then in the second half, maybe I went in and I struggled to get up to the rhythm. So it was hard to manage it in that sense because I did want to save myself, but also show the basketball lads that I'm just trying to strike a balance. But we actually played well. We went down like 8. I think the score was there. So it was big ask to come back, but we come all the way back, and we came back and took the lead by a point at one stage, I think, in the third quarter. Adam Gavigan, our new player from Mullingar, had a great game again. He's so athletic, he can shoot, and he's really starting to become a leader in terms of defense and scoring. Joe Fleming played big minutes, but what comes with that is, especially when you're inside player, you're going to get in foul trouble the longer you spend on the floor, no matter what you do. So he got fouled out with about 2 minutes to go, which was a shame, but he was excellent. He really, made great decisions down low, got great rebounds, knocked down a few threes. So Joe Fleming was really powerful in this one, and hopefully maintain that form, because that will be important for us if we're going to get wins in the next few games. Joseph Henry gave big minutes at point guard. Again, Joseph's really adaptable. He can score inside, he can score threes. So I was really happy with Joseph. And Sean McDermott gave us a big performance as well. Sean lifts us, I say it every week, the intensity on defense and the volume and the talking on defense always lifts the gear with Sean. So he gave us big minutes as well. Maybe there was a few turning points in the third quarter, I think, where the game was in the balance. There was one move, there was one fast break. I had nearly an open layup, but Mulligan got back and got a hand in to knock it loose, and then they went down and scored a 3-pointer. So, that's changing from maybe going up by 3 points to going down by 2 points. There was another occasion not long after that where Adam Gavigan got to the basket. We thought he was fouled. Refs didn't call it. Now it wasn't obvious, but another ref might have called it. Went out the other end. They got a 3-pointer in the next play as well. So just moments like that where the momentum, whichever way the momentum went, it looked like that team was going to take it home, and it kind of in those moments went Sligo's way. But look at it was good. Again, I think it was 78-71 to finish. So again, we got over that 70-point mark. So the offense is looking good. I think with Adams, the option he gives us with scoring, and he kind of just widens our range and our ability to score, is really going to be influential with us on offense this season. Just defensively, again, when Joe went fouled out, we were undersized. They were able to get a lot of rebounds in the fourth quarter that maybe we should have competed more for if we were able to. But I think we were oversized again in there. Obviously, Frank Hester and David Quinn are post players that aren't available at the moment with the football. So again, it's a game we should have won. I'm making excuses there with maybe the calls or the players were missing, but even with the personnel we had, it was in the balance, and I think we were hard done by in a few moments. Just the ball not bouncing our way. So again, a lot of positives, and just defensive execution, I think, is going to be the focus for the next few games to try and because we get that right and back to our standard we like to have it, I think we'll be dangerous with the way we're scoring.
That's it, and we'd like to wish you all the best in your remaining games this side of Christmas, and indeed in 2024. So that brings us on to football matters, and as I said there, you've been a busy man. I think the last time we spoke to you was just before or after the county final. I think it was after the county final win against Éire Óg. Since then, yeah, you had two very tough games, I suppose. but I suppose one game maybe a slight bit easier than the other. But I suppose the kind of final was really a tough game. I suppose would you agree with maybe if I said that maybe the county final against Éire Óg and maybe the kind of final against Monavea Abbey were kind of similar, as in they were very difficult games, not necessarily to play in, but I mean the quality of opposition, they were very good teams.
Yeah, look, I suppose the difference between the county final against Éire Óg and this is that I think we were locked in on the defensive end from the start. Um, in the Connacht final just last weekend, Éire Óg, I think, had 10 points at halftime against us. So, and then we had to, claw our way back. Whereas in this one, I think we led the whole game. Um, I'm not sure if Monavea got it back level. They definitely got it back within a point, I think, at the start of the second half. But I think defensively, I think we gave, in this Connacht final, I think we gave 60 minutes of good quality on the defensive side, as opposed to the county final where we might have just we picked it up and a level as the game went on. You know, um, I think the goals were massive. 2-4 is not great scoring, but again, this time of year, um, and the conditions, scoring's going to be hard to come by. So they were massive for us. And again, I think our mentality is if we can stay in a game, if we can be ahead by 2-1 or even behind by 1 or 2 in those late stages, our defense and our legs and our counter attack will get us over the line. And I think that's what happened in this one. The defensive performance was massive in the second half. If you got beaten by a player, there was another man to back you up, and then it gave you time to get back in. And I think the big thing with us this year is everybody's working for each other, everybody's working for the manager. And if you get beaten on a tackle, nobody's hesitating, nobody's stood wondering what happened. It's straight away you're back into the line, back into to get position to make the next tackle. So and I think that game that really was apparent in this final, and it got us over the line. So it was a really proud moment for like myself as cornerback and the full back line. We've been tight all year, and David Farrell as well had that wonderful save late in the game. So it was a win we really loved back there in the defence because it was really that side of us that got us over the line in the end. So really satisfying, and obviously Connacht medals don't come around too often, so it's really special to be a part of the team that done it, and we're really proud to be part of a big moment of history for the club.
And of course, like I said in the previous interview as well, it's a source of inspiration for the next generation of players coming through at the underage section of the club. And I mean, look at it is great. And I think one kind of thing about Castlerea St. Kevil's all throughout the championship are, you always come up with goals in games as well, and goals. I know they say goals win matches, and it is true. But they do tend to give you that kind of cushion and that morale boost that you have a bit of, I suppose, a bit of a cushion to fall back on, so that maybe if when you score. But they also say that you're always weakest just after you score a goal as well. But that never appeared to be the problem with you, because you were always straight back onto it and focused straight away after scoring a goal, and it was a very good performance. And I suppose the likes of the tougher games maybe that you've played, with the All Ireland in mind after Christmas, and I know you're kind of celebrating now, but I suppose that's the balance. When it coming up to Christmas, it's about I suppose celebrating, but also kind of preparing for the All Ireland, because that's the next highest step, and it just gets more difficult. But there is something about this group of players as well. I see Nathan Bly as well is on the panel. There's some very good talent, not alone on the starting 15. With the likes of yourself and Adam McDermott and all that having a great season, and other players, and the goalkeeper as well. That's me. That's me with the goalkeeping union. But but also the players you can call upon that are on the bench as well. They're kind of key, because I think you've been very smart with how you use the subs, like bringing them on, and sometimes in certain situations the subs can actually turn a game at certain day games, but also the fact that that you can bring on players and a whole week in the side, especially in the closing stages.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying about if we're in around a game in the last 2015 says the clock's ticking down. It gives great encouragement to the lads who have been on from the start to empty it. I always say at halftime, don't stop because if you do run the legs from under yourself, there's quality coming on. Nathan's been unbelievable. He's changed a lot of games for us throughout the championship, and just deploying him at the right time has been, when you see him coming on, it lifts everybody, and not only him. Jack McDermott got his start against Eastleigh after coming off the bench for the year. Niall Connaughton started the final the last day. Peter Farrell had massive moments off the bench. Ronan Curran, all these lads, Seamus Denson, and it's such a it takes pressure off in a way, that you can go out and you don't have to save yourself at all because there's quality coming off the bench, and it's a selfless thing. You're nearly, it's a weird one, but if the legs do go or if you are taken off, it's nearly like grand because the guy coming on is going to add to it. He's not just coming on to save you; he's coming on for a reason, and I think it showed nearly all our games. The bench has made a massive impact. So, and a lot of experience and a great mix of ability and experience, and just they really been a massive element of their success this year. So, um, yeah, we're delighted with the way the panel has kind of come together. Whatever their role is, you're part of something bigger than yourself, and I think the result of that is the strong bench we have. So, yeah, it's a massive, massive reason for our success.
And of course, as well, now, like I said, you're into the All Ireland Championship now, and of course, look at competition, I suppose, for places. Now that you're in the All Ireland semi final or in the All Ireland section now, it's kind of out. Everyone really wants to nail down a place and be in the starting 15. To in big games now, and I suppose the success feeds into the level of competition or the increase in competition. When you get that far, because everyone just wants to start, and of course, look at with such with a panel that you have, it is actually hard to kind of to kind of accommodate everyone because you can only start 15, obviously. But I suppose it's kind of the attitude of players too that, if you don't start, you still have to have the right attitude, still be focused like the players that are starting and keep an eye on the game because, you could be called on at any time to do a job. And so we say if there's someone that's playing in your position, a teammate that's in your position and you're on the bench, you have to keep an eye on the guy that he's marking or that's marking him, so that when you go on, what that player you could be marking or could be marking you is like, and what his strengths and weaknesses are. So even if you are on the bench, you still have to be studying the game.
Yeah, I think Joe, it's a massive strength of ours this year that the 30 lads togged out for the game, are zoned in and mentally ready to go in. The management threw a lot of information at us this year as a group, just of what the role is, and not even in your position. Just if you find yourself in this situation on the pitch, this is your job. Here's what to do in this situation or whatever, and and it comes good. So the lads coming off the bench, or if you find yourself coming off the bench, um, you're kind of well trained, and drilled to know what you have to do, whether it be marking somebody or playing a different role. And I think just the group mentality of, um, it's complete selflessness, and I think the management has really instilled a belief amongst the whole group, 1 to 30, or even 1 to nearly 50 or 60 lads that were involved this year with the junior as well, that everybody is valuable. And if your contribution was maybe a junior championship appearances and being at every training to drive it on and drive on the intermediate panel, then like you've been a part of this Connacht final or Connacht championship win, because you've played your role, and no one role is bigger than any other. And I think, the just the mentality of lads coming into the game, um, it's it's the result of that, and it's a really rewarding, satisfying thing to be a part of when it all starts clicking like that.
That's it. And look, we'll be looking at it in the new year. Do you know who you'd be playing in the All Ireland in your next match, or has that been?
I think the Munster final is this weekend, so we're waiting to see um who the opposition will be. So
That's it. So
we'll uh we'll keep an eye on that and see what the story is then.
you'll have your scouts at that game, no doubt, and see the strength. And of course, if it's the Cork lads, if it is the Cork team, obviously there's Johnny Evans. Of course, he's managing the club down there, I believe. So, and of course he knows Roscommon football as well. So, but I suppose in the meantime now it's about just kind of ticking along, doing the training, avoiding injuries, obviously, and kind of relaxing, but just kind of striking that balance between relaxing and training, but not overdoing it, isn't it? That like this month of December.
Yeah, kind of similar to we were on about with the basketball, just getting the balance right, keeping the bodies kind of in decent shape, and just being ready to come back fresh. The other side of Christmas will be important. I think boys will be excited for it. They'll enjoy the Christmas, and we'll be excited, and we'll be mindful of what's in store after it. So, and whoever it may be that comes out of Munster, I think we'll focus on ourselves and just fine tune our strengths, and go into it with every confidence that we'll give the best crack we can. And it's worked for us every other game this year, so why won't it work in this next one? So yeah, we'll do our best to keep the bodies fresh and the minds sharp, and hopefully we can go into the All Ireland semi final in good shape.
That's it, and of course, as you do every week, it's you like to say a big thank you to your sponsors and everyone that helped out. I suppose the GA team and also the basketball club as well, and indeed the colleges.
Yeah, just quickly, thanks a million to McGorty's Bar for all their support with basketball, and obviously also hosting a bit of the celebrating over the weekend. They do a great job. It's a lot of busy evenings lately, but we're very thankful for them and all their support. Wispy's Discount Store down on Patrick Street, always great supporters of the basketball and football. Amigo International, our basketball sponsors this year, very thankful to them. Mulligan's menswear have come on board with the basketball as well, and we're delighted to have them. Benny's Deli has been a great supporter of the basketball as well ever since, for the last 4 or 5 years. Also Cal's Super Value, our kit sponsor, Bastion Kitchen for our women's jerseys, and Harmac Medical for our women's kit as well. Like Callaghan Construction, our outfitters as well for the men's team. So thanks a million to all our sponsors. Couldn't do it without you, and we're very proud to represent you whenever we take the course. So thank you.
No problem. Thanks very much. Thanks very much there, Thomas. And I'm sure there'll be probably a week or we'll be in touch with you before Christmas, and we'll do another one, because I know you were saying there's all the teams have 1 or 2 games coming up before the Christmas, so we'll be covering those in the next couple of weeks. So thanks very much, Thomas, and we'll talk to you again. So we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks a million, Nathan. Good luck.
No problem. Thanks very much. And that's Thomas Callaghan, the player coach of Castlerea Cavaliers basketball team.